Congratulations! You've just taken a new step to become a great graphic designer. Welcome to my YouTube channel wherein I share my experience, tips, and techniques as a graphic designer so as to design flyers, logos, and many other graphic elements. So today we will be watching or we will be looking how to design this amazing flyer. So this flyer was a flyer I actually did for client Carine Dante alone. So the aim of the flyer was to wish all the best for the new academic year 2023-2024. So without wasting much of time, these are the elements I'm going to use for my graphics work. The truth is the elements were just downloaded. I might not certainly use everything, but these were actually the ideas I had. Okay, so after I've downloaded my image, the first thing will be to crop the image, that is, separate the image from the back of the background actually. So to do that, I would recommend you to watch the previous videos on my various techniques on how to remove the subject from its background. So using the techniques I proposed, the selection actually wasn't the best, so I will have to try to ameliorate it. So here I am at the level of my select and mask. So I'm actually trying to make the selection proper because we have these white elements which are still stuck to our main image, our main subject. So we will have to remove that. So I'm actually using the cleansing tool so as to perfection my selection, which was done from the select and mask option. So I think it's being difficult, so I think I'll have to go to another approach. So I'll just clean the corners. I'll just have to clean the corners. So at this point, I think I'm okay. Then I click OK. So the next thing will be to remove these white elements, these white surfaces. So for me to do that, I will make use of my pen tool, Control P, sorry. Then I click and drag. Okay. Then I move back to my original point. I click on select. Okay. Then I take my brush and I clean. Yeah, I'm to reduce the size. Then I increase opacity and I clean. So I'm actually going to do that for the other parts equally. So I take my brush, my pen tool, sorry. I do a selection. I do a selection. So I get back to the starting point. So please, it's good you take your time so that the selection actually goes well. So I do this, I make sure I do the selection perfectly. Yes, okay. So so far as I do mistakes, I go back. To go back is Control Z. Then yeah, I go back again to my first point. I click select, okay. Control B to have my brush and I clean. So I'm equally going to do that for the other parts. So everything being said, I'm going to convert this layer into um a raster layer. Then I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to convert this again to a smart object. Then I do a selection. So I would just like to see if I can enhance like these details, the hair and stuff like that. So I see here it's not actually necessary. So I change this to orange as I said for the previous videos. Changing to orange or blue any stuff won't have any effect on your graphics. It's just to organize your work. After doing a duplicate, I do a right click here and I choose my mixer brush tool. So with the mixer brush tool, I'm just brushing along. It's actually to make the skin uniform, to make it smooth. So I just brush along, changing the sizes with respect to the surface on which I'm going to brush. So I make sure I do it smoothly. So I brush through actually all the regions, especially the face, because the face is actually our main focus. So where I have the shadows, where I have the light. With my pencil, I'm just going to adjust a little bit this area. I think there's some details we need to remove. Mm, no, I don't think this is ideal too. Let me see. No, I think I'll have to use my pen tool for that. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me contract this. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is to contract my selection so as to do some cleansing. But up to this point, I don't think it has removed from that leftover. Let me see. Mm, No. Let me see. Okay, I'm just going to make use of my pen, my brush tool. No. Yeah, let me just use the pen tool. So my pen tool is a selection of this little portion, and I click back, I close back to my starting point selection. Okay, my brush to control B, sorry. Then I brush. Okay, then I brush. So it's okay. So I think we're okay. Then I'll go back to this layer. Okay, let me see if there is adjustments to do again. Convert this to a smart object. Change this to red, duplicate. So I'm going to turn this to and continue to my brush. So this is with the mixer brush tool. We keep brushing even at the level of the arms, the dresses. So it's actually to make all the skin tone, the skin texture uniform. So I'm going to continue brushing even at the level of the dresses, the cloth. So I'm going to forward the video so that we shouldn't waste much time. Okay, so I just noticed here that there are some little elements about the hands we did select. So in my pen tool, I'll rapidly do the selection. So what I do is I go back to the original image and I just do the selection around the figure, this leftover part. So when I'm okay, I continue. I make sure the selection is accurate. Make sure the selection is accurate. Okay. So I continue my selection, moving across the outlines of the fingers to have a perfect selection. So, okay. So after going through, I make sure I close back to my original point. Then I select selection OK, and I press Ctrl J to do a copy of that selection. So I'm going to turn this on, get back to this, turn this other one 100% OK. So here we have our selection. Okay, so we see that under the fingers actually complete before after. So I'm just going to merge these two. So I still mixed a little bit with my mixer brush tool. So actually you need to take your time for you to have the desired result. So I continue at the level of the eyes, but make sure you don't like brush too much. We have the dresses, as I said, to equally make them smooth. Okay, that's it. I'll just have to change the color of this layer to green. Do a copy. Fill other high pass. So this stage here is to bring back certain details which we removed from the previous step using the mixer brush tool. When I'm okay with this, I click OK. Then I change the blending mode to overlay. We have before after. So you actually see that there are some details which are back. The level of the face and equally the hair. So we're gonna continue the process. Let me see. So I'm just trying to look for a good background to see actually if our selections are okay. So we have this little part. This was surely when I was doing the mixer brush tool, when I was brushing. So in my pen tool I equally do a selection of this portion, and I turn back to my starting point. I close selection OK. With my brush tool I okay, so I just have to create a layer mask so as to remove that. So I think we are okay here. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So just have to increase this little element 2 of the finger which was left out. So when designing, make sure you observe, you go through your image after the selection made. You go through your image to make sure that every portion was selected from the original image. If not, you're going to constantly have this situation. So I think we are okay. Okay, I'll group this. Okay, I think I have done the maximum so far. I'll turn this orange to green, sorry. do a copy and go back again to other high pass. Okay, so increase again the details. So these steps are not like the it's not like a must that you should do it twice or thrice. It's actually depending on the expected result and equally the image you have. But we have almost the same procedure. The next approach to the high pass, followed by what I'm trying to do presently, which is the dodge and burn. So I do a selection and I fill my selection. I'm going to name this. I'll change this to overlay. That's the color mode, the blending mode. I rapidly create a copy of this layer and I name it burn. So next I'm going to create a black and white layer. So I'm going to turn this to black. So this layer actually has a specific role which is to help me to easily view the areas where we have a lot of lights and shadows. So I turn to my tool, that's the dodge. So I'm going to brush the light areas of my subject. So I do it slightly smoothly. I turn back my black and white to see actually the spots. So I actually do the brushing smoothly. So we have these areas, I make sure I brush them. Okay, on off. So we have these areas. So I'm going to fast forward the video for us to gain time. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to do the reverse. I click here, I click on burn. Okay, then now I'm going to highlight. I'm going to bring up the shadow areas of my subject. So everywhere we have like dark spots, these dark shadows, I'm going to make them pop again more. So I turn to my white and the black layer just to view these areas, then I switch it off again, then I continue painting. I reduce the size of my I adjust the size of my brush with respect to the areas in which I'm trying to like brush over. So I actually continue the process at every area where I see some shadows, even at the level of the cloth, the back, and things like that. So I'm still going to fast forward the video. we have almost come to the end of our process of retouching. So I'm just going to go through again each layer to make sure everything is set. Um, so with this, I'm going to select this. I'm going to group this. I'm just going to give it a name. Okay, so we have the before, we have the after. Before, after. So you actually see the big difference. I'm going to duplicate this and change this to a smart object. Then I am going to carry this to my prepared canvas. So here I have my texture which I earlier showed you guys. So I'll just have to adjust. Okay. Yeah, I press Ctrl H so as to have my margins. Let me see. Okay, so here we have the logo, which I'm just going to place it here for the moment. Next, I'm going to bring in my image. So I just have to carry, click and hold, then drop it here. So this is what we have. I'll just have to readjust to a certain size. Okay, so this is what we have. We just have to position. Okay, so I think this is good. All right. So the truth is that I already had like a sketch of what I wanted to design. So presently I'm just implementing. So this was to create actually my rectangle. Then I had to increase the edges, the roundness of the edges. Then I'm going to place it like below my subject. I'm going to tilt it a little bit this way. Okay. Then I'm going to adjust it again. Then for a moment, let me see. Let me design something bigger. Let me decide to increase the roundness of the edges. Then I'm going to add. I'm going to add. Yeah, I'm just going to add a triangle to this to give the impression like she's speaking out. So I'm just going to drop it here. Okay. I'm going to merge the two layers as give one. Okay. So I'm going to rearrange again this. So just a little adjustment at this level, like increasing. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm going to import a file with a book. It's actually a book. It's a book element. That's to increase some details on my flyer. So okay, this is the element I just imported. So I am going to, let me see. I'll just drop it here. Having it at the back. Well, I'm just going to change the orientation. Okay, then increase the size a little bit. Let me see. Increase the size a little bit. Something of this. Okay. So this is actually the final position. So I just feel like bringing it back into the top so that it's at the front of the rectangle which is at the bottom. So I just have to leave it here for a moment. Then import equally we have the razor which was at the back, which is at the back. Then adjust again this a little bit, tilt it. Okay. So I'm just trying to rearrange. Okay. So next thing which I am about to do is to make it a little bit blur. That's giving that blurry effect. Like we have our main focus on the little girl and not the book. So every other element around the girl is like blurry. So the focus is actually on the little girl. So I proceed. So I just when I'm just like trying to rearrange some stuff, changing the color. I'm going to change this, so that's for the stroke. I'm going to have black stroke. Okay, so you have the stroke. I just use a duplicate of this element, and I'm going to turn the color into black so as to create this drop shadow. So I'm going to adjust the size again a little bit, then reduce opacity. I'm going to turn off the stroke. I think it's better this way without the stroke. That's for the underground underline shape. So I'm just going to pick the color from the logo to make it more let me see. Mm, let me just adjust this a little bit. Yeah. So change this, increase a little bit the size, change the position. Okay. I think I'm going to bring back the logo this way. Reduce a little bit the size and okay. Mm. So we are almost the end of this tutorial video. So please make sure you like, share, leave your comments in case there was a process you didn't understand or you didn't get the procedure, the technique. So just let me know. So at this level, I'm just trying to add the text. That's the main message of the flyer. So the main idea was actually developed by the client. So my role was just to find the right place to insert this text. So I had to convey the right information and equally to represent it in the best of ways. So we have bonne rentrée scolaire 2023-2024, which was the main the main element of the main message actually of the flyer. So I just had to position it and look for the right size. So here I thought of adding some elements at the back. That's the background of the 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 subject, so as to convey more of school reopening. So the idea was just to have like um an outline of this text, rentrée scolaire, um just being spaced out at the background. So I just had to do a selection of the text. Then I had to transform it. So from here, I just had to do a copy of the different actually copy of the text. Then I had to create a group, so I had to group all of them. Then place actually the texture of the paper on the group. Yes, so I had to change its layer mode and equally the opacity so that it should not be so catchy. It should not be so pronounced because it's not actually the main subject or the main message of our flyer. So with this, I just had to group everything and go again to um camera raw, like to adjust everything to the last um touches. First of all, at the level of the subject, I thought of um touching one or two things, increasing the sharpening to give in more details to my subject. Um, so we have everything we converted here. Checking this, resizing this equally. Okay. So one of the last things I love doing going through it everything is to reposition my elements again. Then we have to create, I actually create a color lookup mask. So it's actually a mask which gives a certain color to the overall flyer. So at times it's just to enhance some colors, at times it's to make it more catchy, at times it's to add some lights where um they were lacking. So it's just for you actually to choose which is best with respect to the results. And I think this one was okay, so I just had to reduce the opacity. And yeah, so I just had for saving, I go to save as web. Then in my parameters, okay, I click OK. I give a name to this and I click on my office, then OK. So congratulations, you actually come to the end of this tutorial video. So I will just have to save my work. So please remember to comment, share, like. If you have any question, please leave it at the level of the comment section below. I will equally be dropping a link to my Telegram channel for more updates for raw files, and equally this Photoshop file of the flyer we just designed, so that you will be able to go through so as to see the different steps equally and repeat the process so as to better simulate what we just did. So stay blessed and see you for the next tutorial video. Thank you.